Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. When the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Kyle Richards finally came face to face with Mauricio Shock for the first time since paparazzi photos of him kissing a woman at an airport in Greece went viral, she already knew that he'd rather stir his coffee than the proverbial pot. I didn't want to put him on the spot, but he clearly knew that that was the elephant in the room, the unspoken thing that was going on. Kyle explained in the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after-show video above. So nobody was more caught off guard than Kyle when Mauricio addressed said elephant all on his own. When he brought it up, I was actually really surprised, she added. He actually said out loud off camera, "I'm not gonna talk about, what I know you probably want me to talk about. I'm not doing that." And then all of a sudden he, paused and he started talking about it. Despite the awkward moment, as Kyle called it on the RHOBH after show, she still didn't fault her estranged husband for the photos. "I know he did not mean for that to happen," she said. "I know he was not aware that that was happening. That's clear to me. He would not do that intentionally." As for whether or not Kyle believes that someone, either woman in the photo perhaps, tipped off photographers, well, her opinion remains murky. "I mean, I have no idea. I don't want to speak about someone that I don't even know," she added on the after show. "I know that Maur definitely did not know that photo was being taken. I know that. I can't speak for anyone else. I mean, in looking at it, it looks a little suspect, but that's all I'm gonna say." During their RHOBH episode 15 conversation, Mauricio apologized to Kyle for the steamy Mykonos photos. "You know that I would never want to do anything on purpose that would hurt you or the kids," he said. "I really am sorry for hurting you. I would never want to hurt you on purpose." Kyle's response, "I know that you would never do that on purpose," she told Maur. "I know that you did not know your picture was being taken. I don't know that the other person didn't know that. But obviously that's hard to see. But we are separated, and we're allowed to do what we want in this time. It's just strange." In a confessional, Kyle continued, "The photos really did say to me he's moving on. You can live in this la-la land for as long as you want." But that was a hammer on the head saying, "Hello Kyle, he's moved on. It's okay. You're both entitled to live your lives. But in seeing these photos, I think it makes it pretty clear that this is permanent, and I don't think it's going to be easy to come back from that." Though Kyle said in RHOBH episode 13 that she had no idea who the mystery woman is, she pointed out that it's all over the internet. Indeed, various headlines that flashed on the screen identified the woman as a Russian-born actress who is 20 years Kyle's junior. Find out her why the photos of Maur kissing the mystery woman made Dorit Kemsey feel sick. Here, Kyle Richards is no stranger to having her personal life dissected in the public eye, but even she was caught off guard when photos of her estranged husband, Mauricio Shock, surfaced from a European airport, sparking another round of speculation about their relationship. Now, in an exclusive conversation, Kyle is revealing exactly what Mauricio told her off camera about those suspect photos, and how she truly feels about the situation. The images in question, which quickly made waves online, showed Mauricio walking closely alongside a newly identified woman at a foreign airport. The body language in the photos set off alarm bells among fans and even some of Kyle's fellow Real Housewives of Beverly Hills castmates, many of whom had already been questioning the status of her marriage in the wake of Kyle and Mauricio's separation announcement. But according to Kyle, what was really going on may not be what people think. When the photos first surfaced, Kyle admitted she was taken aback. "I didn't even know he was traveling at that moment," she confessed. So, to see those pictures circulating and everyone sending them to me was definitely a shock. Kyle and Mauricio announced their separation in 2023 after nearly 3 decades of marriage, but they have maintained that they are still on good terms and co-parenting their daughters. Despite the separation, the couple has been seen together on multiple occasions, leading some to question whether a reconciliation could be in the works. These latest photos, however, complicated that narrative. "Obviously, when I saw them, my first reaction was to reach out to him and just ask, 'What's going on here?' Kyle said. And honestly, I think that's what anyone would do in my situation." According to Kyle, Mauricio was quick to clear the air. "He told me, Kyle, there's nothing to those photos. It's not what it looks like," she revealed. "He was traveling for work and ran into a friend. They happened to be walking in the same direction, and of course, the cameras caught it in a way that made it look like something more than it was." Kyle admitted that while she wanted to believe him, she also couldn't ignore how things appeared. "Listen, I know how these things go," she said. "People will take a photo, make assumptions, and before you know it, there's a whole story being told that may not even be true. But at the same time, I also know that when you're in the public eye, you have to be aware of how things can be perceived." She continued, "I told Mauricio, you have to be more careful. Whether you mean to or not, people are always going to be watching, and they're going to interpret things their own way." Despite the ongoing rumors and scrutiny, Kyle insists that she and Mauricio are in a good place, even if they are no longer functioning as a married couple in the traditional sense. "We still talk all the time. We still support each other," she explained. "That hasn't changed, but things are different now, and we're both figuring out what that looks like." Kyle also addressed whether the photos had caused any setbacks in their relationship. "Did it hurt?" "Of course," she admitted. "Even though we're separated, there's still a level of respect and history between us. So seeing something like that, especially without any context at first, was tough. But I also had to remind myself that we're not in the same space we used to be." As expected, the internet had plenty to say about the images. Some fans immediately jumped to the conclusion that Mauricio had moved on, while others speculated that Kyle was just playing coy about the real status of their relationship. Kyle, however, insists that she is not hiding anything. "I've always been an open book about my life," she said. "And I'm not going to start pretending now. I know people will believe what they want, and that's fine. But the truth is, Mauricio and I are still working through things in our own way. It's not as simple as people want it to be." She also acknowledged that the scrutiny is something she has learned to live with. "At the end of the day, I can't control what people say. I can only control how I respond. And for me, that means focusing on what's best for myself and my family." So what's next for Kyle and Mauricio? According to Kyle, they're both still figuring it out. "We're in uncharted territory," she admitted. "There's no rule book for this. We've been together for almost 30 years, and now we're trying to navigate what our future looks like in a way that makes sense for us." Kyle also hinted that viewers may see more of their evolving relationship play out on RHOBH. "This season, people will get a better sense of where we're at," she teased. "There are definitely some tough conversations, but also a lot of love and understanding." As for whether reconciliation is completely off the table, Kyle remained coy. "I don't know what the future holds," she said. "Right now, we're just taking things one step at a time." With emotions still raw and speculation at an all-time high, one thing is clear: Kyle and Mauricio's story isn't over yet. Whether they ultimately find their way back to each other or continue down separate paths, their journey remains one that fans are watching closely, and Kyle, true to form, isn't shying away from telling her side of the story. In the ever-twisting saga of Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky's evolving relationship, new details are emerging about those eyebrow-raising airport photos. The images, which quickly set the internet ablaze, depicted Mauricio in close conversation with a mystery woman at an airport, sparking endless speculation about the state of his marriage, or separation, with Kyle. Now, in an exclusive conversation, Kyle is pulling back the curtain on what Mauricio told her off-camera about the situation. And let's just say, there's more to the story than meets the eye. The viral images in question surfaced just as fans were still reeling from Kyle and Mauricio's admission that they were going through a rough patch. In the photos, Mauricio appeared relaxed and engaged in deep conversation with a woman who was not Kyle. While there was no explicit PDA, body language experts, and eager fans dissected every angle, leading to a flood of questions. Who is she? Is this a rebound? Is Kyle aware? Kyle, a seasoned reality star who has lived much of her personal life in the public eye, was suddenly thrust into a new storm of speculation. While she initially kept her reactions subtle, sources close to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star hinted that she was less than pleased with the optics of it all.